listening?
Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATP with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time.
Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Yes, welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters? Right there, that's Eric Zane, the Miles Standish of the Who Are These Broadcasters YouTube channel. And I am your Thanksgiving turkey, Christian Bladt. Eric, how are you? I feel like it's been forever since we talked, but in actuality, it's been 9 days.
Never better. Still basking in the afterglow of the victory lap of the big Kiss Tom Snyder episode. I mean, my God, I don't think we can top that.
I don't think we can top it, but I will let you know I've already been given a recommendation for how we can celebrate Kissmas. But I know that you loved it so much that you actually shared one of our favorite clips, maybe even two of our favorite clips, when you and our buddy Carl Hamburger sat in for Anthony Cumia over there on Compound Media. So I'm glad that Kiss on Tom Snyder has really seeped into every aspect of your life.
Right. And now the world knows. I mean, you can't get much bigger than Anthony. And so that means that everybody is going to pay attention to us now. Exactly.
And so and you drove everyone here personally. You got a big virtual pickup truck. You tossed everybody in the back and you said, head on over. Who are these broadcasters? Tuesdays at 2 Eastern. My understanding is that is a permanent time slot for us. We want to stay out of the traffic. You know, there's no Tukey Soup in the afternoon, but there's like 8 other shows that we were crossing streams with.
All big hitters, all big hitting shows, and we don't.
Big hitting shows.
We can only aspire to be that big. Maybe one day, but we'll just take this.
Now, right now we're so low. We're actually more rock bottom than Ray DeVito. One day, maybe we'll go a notch above Ray. But
it's Ray. Weird. I sat down and chatted with Ray in Detroit, and is the nicest guy in the world. I'm like, why does everybody dog Ray DeVito? I mean,
Ray DeVito is the nicest man that you'll meet in show business. And when you see him get off the stage, or if you see him on one of his podcasts, your first reaction is, Ray DeVito is the nicest man in show business. So I have it on good authority he doesn't like me, but
oh no.
It's because I pulled like 12 clips of him on Jim and Sam.
Oh,
where
grow up, Ray.
He didn't have a great appearance, but that's all right.
Hey, don't be a bitch about it, Ray.
Who would I rather impress, Ray DeVito or Carl Hamburger? Don't answer that question. As always, I'm Christian Bladt, and I'll be spinning the hits, as it were, which I hate saying, but I'm saying it again this week. I should really write this out. But we'll be playing some fun videos from throughout the world of broadcasting. But Eric, you're going to handle the super chats, and let everybody know how the super chats work.
Well, like I see, Vince, the lawyer, is already off to a great start. And Vince says, Zane, your voice is amazing. Have a semi right now. You see, now, if that's the best one we can do in terms of dollar amount, that
Correct.
means that will be Christian's sign off. You see how we do it? So whether you want to say something rude, sweet, or whatever, maybe glorifying something you did, attach it to the super chat, highest dollar amount. That is Christian's sign off. Now,
That's
super
right.
chats are absolutely displayed. Okay, I like Vince's right there. So if you throw up a super chat, you will be seen. Highest dollar amount, Christian will say as the sign off. Also, if you make me laugh, and some of you do, you're really good at this, you also
Correct.
can be posted. No fee involved with that. Just fucking be funny,
Yeah. Unlike those other shows, we will post chats for free if they're funny enough. But if you don't think you're very funny and you have something really corny to say, then just give us like $2 and we'll definitely read it to you.
Now, this one is not funny, but it's complimenting me. So that's another way to get your comments thrown up there, says Jen. I love Jen. How about that? So there you go.
Well, you should read what it says. You know, we got in some trouble with
that's
one of our
that's
super
right.
chatters because you saved a chat for me to read at the end of the show last time.
Yes.
So they were none too pleased with us.
Sorry about that.
So read Jen's chat there that you decided to put up on the screen. Because
Yes.
remember, we also have an audio audience. So,
Exactly
we wanna
right.
make sure they know what
you
it
would
is. Yeah.
you would think I would be aware of that, but obviously I need you to tell me that. But Jen says, I don't care what people say. This silver fox is all right on the Anthony Cumia show. Thank you, Jen.
Possibly the most possibly the most handsome person on the Anthony Cumia show all of last week, but I would have to check my homework. If Chris Bear sat in, then that's a different story. But
Carl,
you, Carl, E-Rock, the guys in the booth, I feel like you're going to win that race. Well, I promised our friend Jay Loiterer that I would get you to also read his super chat that we used at the end of our last show. And I'm a man of my word, Jay Loiterer, so you better be watching right now. So we're doing what we call a make good, Eric. So if you could also read this. This was my sign off on our last episode.
Jay Loiterer wrote for us to say, Blind Mike is a comedic genius and Lucy tight box is hot as lava. Stut Joe sucks and Carl rules. Also, love Cardiff and Hack Ride. Two totally different people, and that kills me to say that because those last two are shit.
I'm a big fan of both. Bigger fan of the potato just because I've known him longer. And Eric, I was going to text you earlier this morning and let you know, but I figured I'd tell you the same way that I told all the audience. I'm so sorry to report. Tragedy has struck WATB for this week anyway. We will not have a Hack Ride video on today's show. And my apologies to everyone who tunes in just to see the Hack Ride videos.
Thank you.
But we're not going to have one. So
thank you so much. Oh my God. Yes.
And we do have the return of our lovely review girl, Zia Anderson. So I think the good news might be twofold for some of you out there.
All right. I love that. And by the way, I unblocked Zia. She's right.
Yeah.
I thought she was porno. I was like, oh my God, what is this? That's all I need my life to see is for my wife to see that young girl with big boobies is following me on Twitter.
By the way, those boobies were hard earned and well paid for because the Z Anderson I knew was built like a 12-year-old boy. Anyway, that's enough banter. That if people want banter, that's who are these socials are for. Who are these broadcasters? We're all business, except we're like 8 minutes in, and there's been no business. That's all right though. Keep super chatting, and we actually are going to start out somewhere where we've never been before. This is a segment so new on the show, we don't even have a jingle for it yet. And our first clip that we've ever had here comes from the great trucker Andy, who people, of course, know. He'll be on tomorrow's episode of Who Are These Podcasts, as he always is. He's always on the midweek episode. But also he has a fantastic podcast called the All Apologies Podcast. So we're doing Who Are These Reality Shows? Maybe one day. And I don't know, Shark Tank's a reality show, right? I mean, I know it's a competition show. I'm not really sure. That's part of the reason why I didn't ask for a jingle. What, do you consider Shark Tank a reality show, Eric?
No.
Okay, well then I'm glad I didn't get a jingle for it.
No, it's not a reality show.
Is it a game show?
It's an idea show.
Oh, all right.
It's not a reality show. Come on.
I feel like the jingle should reflect the fact that we don't know what kind of show it is. In any case, Trucker Andy sent me this, and I didn't want it to get lost in our Kiss celebration on our last episode, so I saved it for this week. And this is someone making a presentation to the Sharks. I've never seen a whole episode of this show, but I get how it works. People who are very successful in the world of business, including Mark Cuban, they hear pitches. They may or may not invest in your product. And this woman has, and her friends have an interesting product and a really interesting presentation. Let's take a look. Cuban's feeling it.
Hey, I'm Mia. Let me introduce the #1 jumpsuit monosuit. Ladies love jumpsuits, but the nature's call is drama. Half naked in a restroom, such a mental trauma. Big holes, I get the fix. No stress, no more lines at the ladies. sorry, Kevin, you might not get this. But this little trick you want. Buy monosuit for your lady with the zipper in the right spot.
Oh, I got pause it a second to try. Well, I can understand how this got Trucker Andy's attention. Have you seen enough, Eric, or do you think that maybe you want to give her more of a chance to kind of sell her product here? To us?
No, I've seen enough.
Okay.
I haven't. I mean, ridiculous.
Would you like me to mute the song? Would that help?
Great body. I don't understand what the fuck she's saying. Jesus Christ. Maybe we could get her on for a review girl, I guess. But what a what a stupid product, and what a dumb segment this is.
So it's I'm glad you're enjoying it. So it's a monosuit, and you know, whenever you're wearing a monosuit out in public, which I guess if you're fighting crime, I'm not quite sure. You know, I think she's one of the junior members of the Justice League, or whatever the Eastern Bloc equivalent of the Justice League is. It has a zipper in the back, so that you don't have to take the whole thing off to take a shit. So
And hit the jackpot.
you think that she might be able to showcase it to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I just keep picturing this for wacky radio bit. If we can somehow stuff Stuttering John into one of these.
No. As the scroll at the bottom tells you, who are these broadcasters? Is a Stuttering John free zone? At least
I meant to say Vinnie Paulino. I mean, that's even better. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's been quite a week for Vinnie Paulino. So you know, any love that he can get. Vince the lawyer.
Yeah, Vince is back. This is now his second super chat of two that the whole show has.
Okay,
and for $5, he's pointed out this show is boring. Can we brainstorm fight title for Vin versus Phil? Want to use synonym for fat, obviously, and historic name Thrilla in Manila / vanilla. Okay.
Well, we will of course read super chats on this show, but it continues to be a John Melendez free zone. So this is not the show to look to for that. I'm sure that Shuli would welcome some of the brainstorming there. Yeah, I really thought you were going to enjoy a woman who you could barely understand dancing terribly.
Oh, no. I mean, I was
really
enjoying
felt like
it.
I've gotten to know you over the last 3 months.
It was excellent in regard to making fun of on this show. It's just astonishing to me that the Sharks didn't get up and just leave. I mean, what was she hoping to get out of this? I don't understand. It's like no one's ever come up with a fucking jumpsuit before.
Yeah, well, not one where you have a zipper in the back, because as I stressed earlier, you know, you don't have to get naked to take a shit at the club. But look, if that's not important to you, we will go to one of our favorite recurring segments, which of course is not showing up where I wanted it to be. Local news.
Others imitate it. We appreciate it.
In my research for this week's show, I came across a lot of variations on this clip. Now, obviously, it was Halloween just 1 week ago. We did our Halloween show before Halloween. So there's some content that's just too good to pass up. So even though it's after Halloween, there's a lot of variations of, let's send the local reporter to the haunted house or the horror nights that get scared really easily. And I've only chosen one of them. Her name is Brianna Whitney, and she is a Phoenix broadcaster. I'm going to play the clip, and Eric, see if you can figure out why I chose her as our lone representation of local reporter gets scared.
Sure.
You might have a hint already, but just watch a little bit.
First.
And we'll take
more
it
about what they've designed.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I don't even know if I can still hear. I don't. Okay. Who built it special for them? Okay. No. This is the one thing I didn't want. No.
because everybody wants to get straw dog vibes on their local news broadcast.
Jesus
She's
Christ.
literally screaming and running away.
The chainsaw. That's what I didn't
And
want. I didn't
Michael
want the
Raimondi and
chainsaw.
Vanessa Arias,
Oh my God.
I love it. Back in the studio.
I'm raising the white flag. I know. I see it. I see it, and I don't like it. I don't like the face. But
Can we just remark that Brianna is in like high boots and she's walking backwards through treacherous territory.
She deserves.
Put your foot up again.
Yes. House fashion first.
Yeah, and you look great going
Yetta,
through
I know
this.
you know. Yetta, I know you get it.
I get it.
Thank you. Together to get into the spirit, kind
Oh,
of.
trouble.
Yeah. Before we get to the trouble, have you figured out why I chose Brianna yet, or should we keep
she's
watching?
Fucking hot as hell.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
what the fuck? Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. This was a bit of a test for our partnership to see how
Sure.
well we would be on the same page.
She's totally a babe. Totally.
Yeah.
A babe.
Well, I'm sure nothing too scary is going to happen here, though.
Nope. I need a drink. I need a margarita. That's what I need.
Eric,
Come
we
on
should have
back.
taken her out.
Or maybe.
I love the honking horns.
Fucking asshole.
All right, we'll check in with her
I don't
in
know
just
if
a
I'm
little
laughing
bit.
or if I'm crying.
I
Jesus Christ, this fucking thing.
I feel better because
gosh.
you were in good company.
So
Holy shit.
yeah, she's a new show favorite. I gave Brianna Whitney the old follow on X just in case.
Right.
We have more of her work to highlight in the future.
I don't know how she didn't yell motherfucker and all of that. I mean, I was scared here with all these fucking horns going off. I don't know about you. I hate these types of haunted houses and shit like that. They're ridiculous. I hate it.
Yeah, I don't love them, but my wife scares so easily, like more than Brianna Whitney. Like one of our earliest dates was at Knott's Berry Farm in Anaheim, and she literally like shrieked every time she went around the corner, and they shake like metal cans with coins in them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey," so I'm just kind of laughing, and I guess it was funny to me that we were going through it. And then I did make the mistake once of having some edibles before I went to the Halloween Horror Nights up at Universal Studios. I will tell you that I haven't been back to one because I was there for an hour and a half, and I could have sworn I was there for like 4 hours.
Yeah, no thanks. Not interested.
Yeah. All right. So, look, they can't all be winners. Anyway, so in local news, they love to dress up for Halloween. Now, not all Halloween costumes are created equal, and I'm going to admit we're going to spend some time on this in a moment. We're not going to just visit with one bad costume, but we're starting off with a gentleman named Marcus Leshock, who's on WGN in Chicago. It's a huge station, I mean, I feel like a lot of people know who this guy is. He's got a lot of eyeballs on him. Chicago's what, number 3, number 4 market. So, this guy's in a big spot, and let's see what he shows up with on Halloween.
Marcus is checking out another must-see Halloween display. Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Actually, Marcus isn't here. This is Lieutenant Colombo of the LAPD.
Wow.
That's not bad. I was in town on a case, and I was told I had to come here to check out this amazing Halloween display.
All right, so there's a lot of holes to poke in this right now, but what do you think is the worst thing about the impression, Eric? I would like to let you go first because I was in awe when someone sent me this clip.
Well, I barely remember Columbo, for fuck's sake. The only people who are going to remember this are really old assholes. And at that, it's a shitty impression. It's horrible. It's just the worst. So, that right there, come on. You got this house is all decked out, looks fantastic, and you got this asshole with a stupid wig acting like an idiot out in front of it.
Yeah, the lack of timeliness of the costume. It's not even Quincy. If it was Quincy, you could get Blind Mike and Craig on board. But yeah, and this segment goes on. I'm not going to dwell on it, but and also he does not sound like Columbo.
No, he doesn't sound anything like him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. He doesn't look like. He's got the raincoat. I'm going to give him that. He has the raincoat. He doesn't look like him. He doesn't sound like him. And also in the chat, who remembers Columbo? Unless Kumi is watching from his hospital bed. Other than that, I mean, who's like, oh yeah, Columbo is a great costume for Halloween.
Nicola says that indicates that she would. I think she means she recognizes it.
Okay, but you recognize it, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to spend some real time now with WDRB in Louisiana. In Louisville. They didn't just have one Halloween costume segment. They had several. And I want to give you a chance because if Mongo is giving us a super chat, I want to give him the attention he deserves.
Well, it's timely as we transition from that pile of shit. That impression, and Mongo for $1.99 writes, Stuttering John does a better Columbo, which I haven't heard John do that, and this is a no John zone.
This is a no John zone unless if you pay for it, we'll talk about John all day if you give us enough super chats. That's fine. I will immediately. I'll change the little crawl at the bottom of the screen. I will sell out my integrity immediately. But Mongo, I know there's a jingle for you. My computer's not loaded for that, but if you come back, I'll make sure that we get you one in the future.
Thank you.
WDRB in Louisville, they did multiple costumes over. So I've got five segments that we're going to take a look at. We'll just take a peek, and sometimes if your costume is more timely, it doesn't necessarily mean.
It's been really fun to see.
I'm trying to use the phone.
I'm listening to Reason.
I'm listening to Reason.
This is fabulous.
Is it?
Oh, that little tribute to Paul Rubens there.
Have you ever been to Louisville, Eric? Because maybe they define fabulous differently than they do in Los Angeles or in Michigan.
I don't know. Something about him, Pee-wee. I mean, he's dead. He whipped out his cock. I don't think we need to go back to doing Halloween costumes of Pee-wee.
Well, it's the most interesting thing about him is what he did in that movie theater.
Right.
But if you've had enough of Pee-wee, I regret to inform you that there's more because he has to set up another bit.
Oh, good.
In memoriam to Large Marge, that was the one scare that I had. Large Marge really got me. So I hope I don't run into Large Marge today because that would be something.
Yeah, boy, that really would be something, don't you think, Eric? If you were, just trying to figure out what to wear to work and you were watching the news and you wanted to know what's the weather today. And this guy's setting up, junior high school bits for the talent show.
It's always such a stretch. Nothing ever really lands. It's just kind of like annoying. It's kind of like you and I.
I felt like you were talking about us, but that's all right. Well, look, does the fun ever stop? The answer is no.
Rain showers, ice pellets, snow showers, a little bit of everything out there. How about that? Large Marge, born December 5th, 1937, died January 11th, 1974. Large Marge in the house.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It was on this very night, 10 years ago, along this very same stretch of road in a dense fog, just like this. I saw the worst accident I've ever seen. There was a sound like a garbage truck dropped from the Empire State Building. And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, you know what it looked like? It looked like this.
The fuck?
I mean, it's from the movie. The movie from like 35 years ago.
Yeah, I don't even recall. I never saw the movie. I'm just assuming Large Marge is a character in the Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Correct.
Fuck.
You have used the powers of deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, not a bad one. Big Top Pee-wee, not so much. So Nicola, is it going to rain for fuck's sake? Yeah, that's really what everybody's wondering.
Mr. Green adds, for the Large Marge wig, he saved all his pubic hair for that wig.
Well, I think that for our audio audience, it looks like it might be a pubic wig collected from the drains at a retirement community.
Right.
Because I don't know that Mike. Well, but Mike, you're gonna have to take my word for it. Mike is doing a spot on Large Marge, no notes, but a little bit later in the show, Mike does an impression. Let me see what you think he does of it. I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy.
No.
That the king of rock and roll is in the house. He may look like Mike Marshall. There he is right there. They're playing your song. Can you hear it, Elvis?
Yeah, baby, I hear it, man.
Listen, Elvis.
I hear it. Look at me.
Elvis, I hear
I
it.
forgot there was Elvis music in here. I might talk a little louder than I normally would over the clip.
Get off my
Listen, I know you had hip surgery a few years ago now. Elvis, don't hurt yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
It looks like I need help.
No.
Does it look like I need help, Shirley?
Well, I mean,
My God.
it's a jumpsuit.
Is
It
the
looks
one
like
supposed-
Elvis.
Is the one supposed to be Jackie Robinson? Like retarded Jackie Robinson or something?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because this gentleman, this is an Elton John at. See, it says Elton, but it's
it
the
said
outfit, the
Dodgers.
uniform he wore at Dodger Stadium. It's an iconic image. They have a framed photo of it at Dodger Stadium. I think it's from 1981.
Oh, okay.
And he did I think his last show in the U.S. I don't know, a year or two ago, and he they had to make a new one. Let's just say, but so
right.
yeah, this guy is basically the well, this is a little bit inside, but the Cheyenne Marte Elton John.
Oh,
basically
great.
is what he's
All
going
right,
for.
good.
Yeah. But let's not forget the fact that Mike Marshall is really just wowing people as Elvis. I mean,
Right. Yep.
you know.
Yep. He's just shaking it. He's just had an odd looking body. I think he's going for fat Elvis, and it's just kind of a mess.
Yeah, well, there is kind of the problem that he is oddly shaped, and the impression might take a little bit out of
You've
him.
cranked out a lot of music in your time.
I'm a little windy right now, man.
Either that or he
Elvis,
just
this
sees,
is a fat Elvis, you know.
either that or he just sees two girls he can put his hands on.
Yes, he's loving that. He's loving that.
what-
These chicks are like, "Don't touch me, don't touch me, rapist."
Yeah, trans meth Ariel to his right. Well, I guess that's his left, but all right. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're learning an awful lot about what Mike Marshall's interested in.
That's I think my favorite so far. Trans meth Ariel.
That's
Gotta write
just
that
one of
down.
those where you can say, "Hey, I don't even know what that means."
That's not the young Elvis
We
anymore.
all-
It's a fat Elvis.
We all put on a few pounds.
Yeah,
as
that's
we age.
what
I
happened.
get it.
Peanut butter and nutter sandwiches.
Because Elvis used to like to eat those.
Yeah.
You see the bit, right? I
Right.
don't know, Eric. I think you
Yeah,
just
I
don't
know.
appreciate comedy like I thought you did.
It's just so fucked up. Maybe I'm jaded. It's hard to make me laugh. Like I'm gonna laugh at trans meth Ariel, but I'm not gonna laugh at this. Okay.
Well, I've got one more entry from the WDRB Halloween show, and I'm convinced another timely, spot on group impression. I think you're going to be happy with this. Take it away. It's a little lag time there for a moment, but here I'll.
It happens.
back
It
up.
happens.
I'll
It'll
back
catch
it
up. Uh-oh.
That's how good the clip is.
Oh no. No.
Me, Roscoe Purvis Coltrane. Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Davis Hall. Hey, Roscoe. Them Duke boys. It's my blood. Duke boys.
See, the reason the impression works, and for our audio audience, it's Roscoe Pico Train and Boss Hogg, they have material prepared. They didn't just figure we'll put on the costumes and make noises.
Yes.
They actually figured that they would try to recreate the characters. And I don't know, out of all the costumes we've seen Mike Marshall in, I feel like Boss Hogg is his body type. Can we at least give him that he's at least picked someone that he looked like?
Yeah, he could be a great bowling pin too, by the way. Jesus Christ, look at that guy. Oh man. Yeah, this one is hands down the best. The Roscoe is pretty damn good. Mike, out of the other ones he did, Large Marge and Elvis, I don't know, something about the fact that it's a tandem. All right, I can accept this.
You can accept. I feel like you're just trying to get me to move on, but that's all right. I understand. I see right
good.
through your ruse.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, everybody in
like
the
I
chat, let us know which one of these was the best for each of you. You know.
Yeah, you have your choice of Large Marge. You have your choice of Elvis Presley. You have your choice of Boss Hogg and Roscoe.
We will accept votes for let's just say Island Elton John or now I forget what it was. It was Meth Ariel, but there was already something else that
right.
Yeah, but any one of those. Anyway, well, we got to move on from local news, and we're going to get to the big time. We're going to go to some national newscast. Now, the evening newscasts still happen on network news. Not everybody necessarily knows that. And Lester Holt has been on NBC for quite a while, ever since we realized that Brian Williams was just making shit up. You know, I mean, it wasn't just stolen valor. It was like, you know, fantasy stolen valor.
All the valor. It was just
all
valor.
the valor. Yeah. And you brought us this clip, Eric. This is a clip of Lester Holt interviewing a father of tragically a victim of the mass shooting in Maine.
Horrible. There is a local pub where the gentleman on the left who lost his life was trying to save people. Dad is on the right. Now Lester is interviewing. This is 18 hours after.
Yeah.
Dad has agreed to sit down with Holt. The anguish is on display. I mean, this was heart-wrenching. But Dad is powering through and saying nice things about his son, as you would expect. And I actually watched this live when it happened. Drop what I was doing. I went, what the fuck? I cannot believe this. And I was dumbfounded at what he asked this man. I think it's a question. Or maybe it was affirming, but either way, it was fucked up. You'll have to see it for yourself to know what I'm talking about.
You're all going through a lot of pain right now.
It's awful. That moment when I got the call that said, Joey's dead. It brought me back. It brought me right back to my knees. My boy, Joey, will be missed by thousands.
You were close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, Lester. He barely knew him.
No, I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Yeah, it doesn't typically have the makings for the kind of clip that we would pull for this show. But then when he's just
horrible.
Like, oh, you were close. And look,
if
this was a local news anchor who maybe was, you know, year one on the job, you'd be like, all right, it's kind of hard to figure out how to navigate that conversation. I mean, Lester Holt probably interviewed hundreds of thousands of people at this point, you know, and I feel like you know how to feign a connection for television.
He could have said, if he would have said, did you suck his dick? It would have been less shocking than you were close.
It might have been a little bit more shocking, but I to your point, it would have been less awkward. It would be like, oh yeah, all the time. He loved it. He always wanted to finish on my face. I don't know what that was about.
If I was okay, let's just, God forbid that's me. Okay. And Lester Holt is interviewing me. I'm going to try to have enough strength when he says you were close to say, whatever gave you that idea, Lester? Well, here I am pouring out my soul to you. You're asking me if I'm close to my dead son, you asshole.
God forbid that happens to either you or I. But the Who Are These podcasts subreddit has definitely let us know they would very much like that to happen to either or both of us. So, you know, keep your fingers crossed, everybody out there.
Aaron just made me laugh with just joining. Who's the fat pedo? So
wait a minute. It's just you and me on the screen. And you're definitely in better shape than I am.
I don't know about that. I think we're both pretty fucked up. All right. Thank you. Thank you to Aaron for that.
Well, like we kind of were implying sex act on his late son. So you know what? He was just following the narrative.
All right.
We're gonna move it on over to who are these politics in a second. But when I was doing my crackerjack research, putting things together over the last couple days, I literally had no idea. Did you know it's election day today, Eric?
I was aware of that, actually.
I was not. I mean, I know today because I'm talking to you about it, but I didn't know as recently as yesterday. It's not a presidential election. I think in California, I don't think we're voting for anything. It's probably, I don't know, more drag queen story hours, more choices for signs on bathrooms. I literally have no idea what we might be voting for, but I'm like, I don't even know. I drive, my polling place is the local library. I haven't seen anything. You got anything good to vote for in Michigan?
I would have to go there and read the ballot to know what the hell is up. But my polling place is half a mile. I should just get done with this show.
Yeah.
That shit done. Don't people always say, no matter what happens, you always have to vote?
Yeah. I think that's true in presidential elections, but I don't know about the other 3 years. Do you really have to? If it's convenient, Anyway, it is the perfect time, though, for Who Are These Politics?
A lot of people talking about Christian and Carl's segment, making it great with Who Are These Politics?
It's a great moment in the film Spinal Tap when the band comes out on stage, and I believe that's the Hello Cleveland sign when they're actually not in Cleveland. But either way, there's when you're a musician, usually there's like a piece of like duct tape with the city's name like written on the stage, so that you say hello to the right person, the right crowd, you say the right place, and apparently that wasn't the kind of advance work for former president and possibly future president, if you believe polls, Donald Trump. But I just think the way that he handles the about face is the funny part. We'll talk about it after everybody gets to see it.
A very big hello to a place where we've done very well, Sioux Falls. Thank you very much, Sioux Falls. And thank you.
Somebody's telling him in his ear.
City.
Telling him what's up.
Watch this.
So, Sioux City, let me ask you.
Oh,
so smooth. And honestly, I'm going to come to the defense of former President Trump here. Unless you live in Sioux City or Sioux Falls, even if you live in other parts of Iowa, who gives a fuck?
Right. No one gives a shit. Who gives whatever. These are fucking trash people.
Look, if you go on in Detroit and you say Cleveland, that's a problem. Like you're gonna get some people upset. Especially if you try to invoke like, oh, we're really rooting for the football team or whatever.
Yes,
But I don't know. I mean, I think that this was making the rounds. This could literally happen to anybody. If there's a Who Are These Podcasts live show in Sioux City, I guarantee all night, maybe not Carl, but Vinny will be calling it Sioux Falls the whole time.
Right. I mean, Trump needs to embrace his fuck ups more, because I think he gets more play if he goes on here and fucks it up, and then he says, "Oh, I meant Sioux City." Like you give a shit. You love me no matter what I say. Grab him by the pussy. I mean, it doesn't matter what he says.
Eric, facts are facts, but you know what he does a good job of embracing? Other people's fuck ups, specifically the current occupant of the White House, Joe Biden, and I think he does something masterfully here. But hang on, we have Carl Hamburger in the chat, so we have to stop down on what we were doing. What does Carl have to say, Eric?
Trash people. Easy does not represent the views of this channel. Oh, boo-hoo.
It's important that the boss come in and say that. And I don't support the views. I don't represent the views of Eric.
I will fight anyone in Sioux City, Iowa.
Well, somebody pull that clip, and you'll be reminded of it. At some
good.
point. But in any case, President Trump does a great job of reminding everybody that, you might not have liked me, but what about this idiot who's in there right now?
Crooked Joe can't even walk up the children's stairs in Air Force One, Now, doesn't that look terrible? You see a man come at you, want to see a man walk out, or woman, walk off Air Force One, nice and high, wave to everybody. This guy goes through the little stairs. We call them the children's stairs. And now he's made it a common practice because he can't quite make it up or down. I think he has a bigger time making it up. Usually it's supposed to be easier. I don't know. Let's not even think about it.
God, he's killing like the best comic ever. I mean, he could say anything. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Children's stairs. Is that a thing? I'd never heard of such a thing.
I love that he's calling them the children's stairs because now, whenever President Biden is walking off Air Force One and he has the little stairs, Twitter's X is only so kind as to highlight, hey, look, he's using the children's stairs. So this is really caught on in the last week. So keep an eye out, Eric. You're going to notice that he uses the children's stairs more often than not.
I believe it.
Speaking of Joe Biden, let's play the clip first, and then this will sort of be like the To Catch an Alien game, sort of the reverse of that. What does Tommy say next? Well, this will be, what did Joe Biden just say?
It represented.
Well, he's saying nothing as a pause.
Wait, did it get hung up? Am I supposed to guess?
It represented the moment we walked away from how this country was built when we got into the trickle-down theories.
Yeah. So the clip did stop for a second, but I did bring it back. So
Did he say trickle-down terrorists?
Well, the trickle down, good for you that you were able to pull that out of there. I think that next word is theories, but it's I just wanted to highlight the contrast between the way that former president speaks, and it's obviously that's a campaign event. This is a White House function, but I mean it's almost like when Joe Biden talks, it's practically ASMR, where he's like, now I'm brushing my hair, and I would smell it. Maybe I could trickle down. So I don't know.
It's so bad. He's so fucked up. He's not going to vote for himself. I mean, he might try to vote for himself, but he'll wander into a porta potty and pull the wrong lever, as it were. And I know that's a cheap joke, but I'm going to stand by it. Look, if we would get more super chats, I wouldn't have to. No, it's fine. We don't need the super chats. There's that guy on the Discord who hates how many super chats are on other shows. I've told him, you should watch this show. We don't get that many. No, we don't. We don't beg for them either. We talk about it once. If they come, they come. That's what my wife says. Then they don't. They don't.
Well, the one thing that I think Biden has figured out is how to use whatever we want to call his condition. Some people call it Alzheimer's, dementia, old age, if you're being nice. He's figured out a way to kind of use it to his advantage. This is an event where there is someone shouting, and what they're shouting about isn't so important just yet.
You inspire us, and I want you all, the LGBTQ Americans, to know the Biden-Harris administration has your back. I don't know who's hollering down there, but I can't hear you.
So really, that's because literally he can't hear them. He has no idea what they're saying.
So you're onto something. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, he just has to be like, I
can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cut to the jib.
Thank you. And says, keep up the good work, Christian, and throws a $1.99 the show's way.
Well, I'm taking the buck. You take the 99. All right. Because my name's in that one. So, we got to give some to Carl, and then we got to give some to you two. All right. Well, you know what? We'll figure it out.
Donkey Kongington says, y'all motherfuckers trick me into clicking thinking I'm going to see Carl, you spelled his name wrong, every week. Piss off. I'm out.
That's fine. For every one of those, we get 4 that are like, oh, wait, Carl's not on the show. Oh, I'll stick around. So,
But
you
then
see?
follows up with JK. Cheers, y'all.
Ah,
see how that
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that that's something that Biden should really work on in the future.
There's
just,
there's no working on that. There's no working on that.
No. I mean, he should just continue to lean on it.
Oh,
is
continue to
basically
say
what I'm
who
saying.
I can't hear
He's
you.
like,
I
huh?
hit it.
I mean, he does that for bad. There's clips I could have pulled where they ask the questions, and it's like a lot of times politicians will ignore the questions. I'm like, oh, he definitely doesn't hear them.
Now, I mean,
they're in a much too low register for him.
3-4 years ago, he was bad in that debate with Trump. Can you imagine? And if the Democrats, this is kind of like a sidebar discussion.
Sure.
Because the Democrats may actually want another person in there trying to convince him not to run because he's unelectable.
Yeah.
If he chooses not to and does run, can you imagine the debate? Holy fuck.
Well, I have the firm belief that if he does run, and it is against Trump, there will be no debate because President Trump has set the stage for that by not participating in the Republican debates, nor should he, by the way, with all those losers up on stage. And by the way, just a programming note, there's another one of those coming up soon, so get ready.
Okay.
But, our buddy Mike Pence has dropped out, so we won't have any more Mike Pence clips after the next debate.
We won't have Mike Pence to kick around, Christian.
No, we absolutely won't. The next one I have is really just a visual one. The music is pretty good, but it's really just Jill Biden is dressed like, I don't know, a lion or a cat, but I just really have it frozen, and I muted the music because they're taking a picture and he's like, oh, should I be in this? Yes, this family that has visited the White House would like a picture with the president, not just having him standing off to the side trying to validate their parking. And my apologies for our audio audience. I try to not do too many of these clips that are just visual, but he's still got that politician smile down cold, doesn't he?
Wow. By the way, I think Jill Biden is kind of hot there.
Oh, okay. So you're into like some zoo play?
I don't know what it is about her, but I felt a little tingle down there.
Carl, if you're still in the chat, what was the podcast you guys did where people fuck zoo animals? Send the RSS feed to Eric. It might be a new thing for her.
Oh, she's kind of cute there. I think she's kind of cute.
I will say that she's never looked better. And then for some reason, Guillermo from the Jimmy Kimmel show is there with her.
No shit. This guy's still frustrated about having to wait across the Rio Grande.
I think I might have to invoke the I don't even know what that means. I think this just might be one of those. So we're going to move on from politics to everybody's favorite section, which is who are these sportscasters. However, I want you to know we're going to dive into who are these sportscasters, but when it starts off, it's still going to be fairly political. And Carl says, yeah, that's the one, the podcast where they fuck zoo animals. I can't remember what it was called, but
it's not at all the same thing. Just because the first lady is dressed up like a kitty cat doesn't mean I like to fuck animals. Idiots.
Make sure to create a drop out of that. I don't know. Well, look, in the picture that we're zoomed in on, you're definitely choosing the right one. I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
All right.
All right. Let's move it over to who are these sportscasters? America's favorite segment.
Home of the hourly triple play.
W-A-T-P. Who are these sportscasters? Just listen and find out. Who are these sportscasters?
Oh, Eric, the World Series is over, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you know who won?
Yes, it was a team from Texas, the Rangers.
Very good. Do you know who
Rangers?
They beat?
Arizona.
Oh my gosh! Well, if I had my Cardiff Electric bell closer, I would ding it right now. You're part of basically the 1% in this instance of people who actually know who was in the World Series and who watched it. was actually a good series. Don't worry, we don't have any highlights but of the games themselves. But there was a big moment before game one. Former President George W. Bush threw out the first pitch, and his tie, of course, is having worked for years before he was governor of Texas with the Rangers organization. And if you think back, I don't know, the last 5-6 presidents, which one would you think you would most enjoy sitting in a rocking chair on a porch enjoying a beer with? George W. Bush is pretty high up on the list. I would definitely, I'd like to go to, the Gold Club in Atlanta with Bill Clinton, because I feel like we could make it rain. But if it's a more leisurely activity, I feel like George Bush is the guy, right? I mean,
yeah, I love him. I don't even give a shit that he blew up Iraq for no particular reason.
I believe he said they tried to kill his dad. So, it's a pretty good reason. That I hope my kid does that for me one day. Blows up somebody who got on my bad side.
Oh, yeah. No, he was great. It was awesome.
But, it's you can't, the media and Twitter and whatnot, they can't spend all this time telling us that Trump is the worst human that ever walked the earth. And then George W. Bush is back in the news. It's like, and this guy too. I was like, well, which one is it? Right. I mean, it's like, in terms of like a regular seeming person that you could have an actual conversation with, I got no problem with George W. Bush in that way, but he's being interviewed by Derek Jeter. And of these two, I'm on record. I got no interest in talking to Derek Jeter, and unless he's going to tell me stories about some of the women he sent home with gift baskets. If he's got pictures, all right, I'll talk to him. But I feel like he's going to try to be too classy for that.
Fun fact: your old pal Eric Zane shook Bush's hand at a campaign rally that I was covering in Knoxville, Tennessee, when he was running against Al Gore.
Look at
you.
And
put out my hand. He goes, "How you doing, son?" He shook it. I was like, there you go. My kind of guy.
I did shake Bill Clinton's hand when I was a White House intern. It was before I knew that I should have asked to smell his fingers, but you live and you learn.
Holy shit, that's great.
In any case, Derek Jeter, there was a little bit of some backlash for the comments that I talked about. We don't need to talk about it as baseball. He sucks as a sports broadcaster. He is terrible.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
Remember 2 weeks ago, everybody's wearing the big hat, and he's like, "Well, they don't wear that in New York." Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, he's a very stuck up. Fuck that guy. Big Poppy all the way.
Yeah, exactly. Team Poppy. And Team Poppy's story is way more interesting. He's got people trying to kill him outside of nightclubs in Venezuela.
Yes.
But so Derek Jeter talks to former President Bush 43, just to differentiate because 41's no longer with us. And he brings up the fact that, obviously a truly memorable moment was the then president throwing out the first pitch in the 2001 World Series, 6 weeks after, maybe 2 months after 9/11. And throwing out the first pitch is an iconic moment. So he asks him about that and in relation to doing it this night for the 2023 World Series.
Well, back then, totally different environment. I'm loosening up. In comes the Yankee captain. Hey, Press. That was you. And I said, yeah. He said, you're going to throw from the mound? I said, what do you think? I would. And then as you left, you said, don't bounce it, they'll boo you.
Well,
all I thought about on the mound was you.
I tell you what, you're going to throw from the mound tonight?
No.
Well, this is Texas, so if you bounce it, they won't boo you.
No.
Good luck.
It doesn't matter now. Thank you, buddy.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's also 22 years older, and being president, especially in the era he was president, it ages you pretty fast. So, what kind of question was that? Are you going to throw from the mound? Are you trying to call this, as Sean Hannity would call him, this great American? Are you trying to call him a pussy? You're going to throw from the mound again? He's like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know why Bush didn't throw from the mound. And by the way, that's the most personality Derek Jeter has shown as a baseball commentator ever.
Yeah,
that actually wasn't terrible. I don't
know. I mean, he's putting his best foot forward because he's talking to a president.
Yeah. But
well, President Bush does not throw from the mound, and I think that you can decide if it's a conspiracy because the game is on the Fox network, and people can consider that an extension of the news channel. None of those things are really true, but I think it's respectful the way that they show the pitch. So and he's throwing to Pudge Rodriguez, who, by the way, lives up to his name now.
Yes, he used to play for the Tigers, and wow, he's ballooned. What a fat fuck.
Okay, so there he is, not on the mound, and look at that wide overhead
Jesus.
shot.
What a horrible pitch.
Not only does he bounce it, but Pudge Rodriguez drops it. And for our video audience, I did the service for each and every one of you. Even though Fox went to the wide overhead shot, I wanted to zoom in and show you just how bad his pitch was.
Oh no, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. You can really take a look at it.
Horrible. He started out okay with, the windup was appropriate, and then he just threw it right into the ground like fucking 50 Cent. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's like the outfielder who dives to catch a ball but literally dislocates his shoulder. So then he just tries to throw it in, and I don't know, maybe we'll try to not have all the runs score. What does DeWired Christian say?
All caps. What a bitch throw. I used to do a radio show, and we got invited to the minor league ballpark to throw out the first pitch. And I think I lost a bunch of respect for my morning show partner at the time, because he did, but he stepped forward with the wrong foot. So he's throwing it with his right, he's going to step with his left, but he stepped with his right and just looked so fucked up. I was like, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Jesus Christ.
Well, I try not to bore people with stories of my time working with Dennis Miller, but once when we were doing a station event in Chicago, Dennis got to throw out the first pitch at Wrigley. He actually did it a couple of times, and the throw was so bad, and they didn't want him to. He ran back to the mound and threw it again. The second pitch was a lot better, and I was just like, yeah, why don't people do that? It's like,
give me the ball back. Give it back to me.
It's like, no, I have to do it again. Anyway, we're still in the world of sports, but we've featured Christopher Mad Dog Russo on the show before, and I grew up listening to him on WFAN in New York, so I have an affinity for him, even though he's a fairly terrible broadcaster. He doesn't have a great voice. His takes are usually the kind that make you go, huh? But he was paired up with Mike Francesa, who was literally just a tub of lard sitting there with a straw sticking out of a cup of Diet Coke. So, the comparison seemed to work. And I don't want to derail the whole show on this, but it was fairly big news in the sports broadcasting world after this would have been after Game 5 of the National League Championship Series, where he was convinced that the Philadelphia Phillies, who would have only needed to win one more game, he figured that there was no way Arizona comes back and wins those two games.
I've been wrong in Arizona from day one. I'm stunned to beat Milwaukee. I thought they'd get swept by the Dodgers. I never thought they'd even go back to Philly for a Game 6. I'll try it one more time. I would not be stunned if they won tonight. I would be floored. And I'll say this right now. I'll say this right now, and Bob Raceman, write it down. If they win the next 2 days, they win the next 2 games and win this series in 7 games. If they win, I will retire on the spot.
You asshole.
Well, we did just talk about who was in the World Series, and spoiler alert for our international audience who hate our sports clips. My apologies, but yes, the Arizona Diamondbacks did indeed win and advance to the World Series. He's right in the fact that they didn't look that good against Texas, but they did win that series. He did say he would retire on the spot, and I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Eric?
Well, I'm just looking at him when he says that, and from a personal standpoint, I'm disgusted because he looks younger than me, so that's awful. And then, he really, where do you go from there? He doesn't, he obviously didn't go through with this.
No. Well, he did not go through with it. And in fact, the next day had the audacity to show up for work And another divisive character, a divisive figure really out there in the sports world is Stephen A. Smith, who was not letting him get away with the fact that he said he was going to retire.
Dude, this is what we're going to do on behalf of the Diamondbacks. This show is going to be dedicated.
Sorry,
Come on.
I
Dude,
know
this is
it's.
what we're gonna do.
I have to like. It's like
That's
the
all right.
old like water pumps. You have to actually push the crank to get the clips to
Hey,
play
it
better.
happens.
today.
It happens.
Yeah, I know. This is definitely one of those days. But anyway, so Stephen A. Smith.
Dude, this is what we're going to do on behalf of the Diamondbacks. This show is going to be dedicated to the Diamondbacks shutting you up since you're threat to retire. So you can speak. So you can speak. But you know what you will be doing? You will be running errands throughout the show.
Exactly.
Today. So when I want some
that's
hot
my
chocolate,
punishment?
that's
Yeah.
your
Oh,
punishment.
yeah, you
When
might
I
be-
want some
you
hot
are
chocolate, you'll go get some hot
you're
chocolate. If
100%.
I got some food that I'm going to have in my desk, I want you to go to my
Hopefully
desk and
it's
get it.
pancakes for a
I don't know
change.
yet. I don't know yet. I haven't
None of these
decided.
Can you imagine?
You're gonna
Can you
be
imagine? Can you imagine if he goes, I bet you it's fried chicken.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there is a clip to get to. First, the last time that we featured Alana Rizzo from MLB Network on here, we were being very critical of her for saying that reporters who go into the locker room to cover what's said in the locker room shouldn't report on what was said in the locker room. When to the extent that if it's not when reporters are supposed to be in there, yeah, maybe she's right. But it's during the media availability. You can go ahead and say what it is. But she's also not letting the Mad Dog get away with it.
But remember, now Stephen A. said, I don't want to hear it. When you say you're retiring, you can't separate them. So he's got a fair point there because I'm trying to separate it. I said the retirement on Sirius XM.
It does.
Not on
Okay, so
IE.
are you going to give up? Are you going to give up
Sirius XM.
your most lucrative job? Are you going to
No, it's
step
not
away from your most lucrative job?
I haven't decided yet.
It's my favorite part of the clip, though, where he's like, "It's not my most lucrative." Okay, I'm going to stop talking. But he's like, "No, I don't make that much from Sirius XM. They've named the channel after me."
This is a 1982 radio bit, is what this is. That's what we have here. And look at all the pub he's getting. That's all he has to do is say, "Oh yeah, I'll retire." He was happy when Arizona won because he knew he'd be doing this, and everybody's just eating it up. They love it.
Well, it definitely got to the desk of the Diamondbacks manager, Torey Lovullo, and this is sort of what I was alluding to a moment ago, that he's gonna mention Stephen A. Smith, and let me know if there's anything that might be construed as problematic when he talks about that.
Speaking on Mad Dog, Stephen A. Smith, you're my boy. You're my boy, and I need you to hold him.
Yeah, you want me to bring you want me to rack that back, make sure that maybe we didn't miss how he talked about Stephen A. Smith.
Speaking on Mad Dog, Stephen A. Smith, you're my boy. You're my boy, and I need you to hold him accountable. Okay, I need you to keep going at him every single day. Don't let it stop. But a deal's a deal. I agree. Like you can't back out of that one, Mad Dog. You got to do something. I don't know.
Yeah, and Mad Dog. I'm not going to play the clip. Mad Dog was even on Howard Stern, and in 2023 Howard Stern fashion, he suggested that he, I think, walk around in ladies' clothes in Times Square.
Of course,
Howard was really quick to suggest that, actually. So it's a great comment. As we're playing Torey Lovullo, DeWire Christian says Hunter Biden looks terrible. See. This is the problem with us reading the funny chats that they don't pay for. Then look, Vince the lawyer's giving us like $9 today.
Right. Thank you, Vince. Asks, are you in Grand Rapids, Michigan? Yes. That will not be Christian's sign off. I think your other one will.
He gave us a $5 one that
he did.
Talked about how bad the show was.
And if you're just getting in, I will say, just to remind, if you have the highest super chat, that will be Christian's sign off, and you can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want
for him to sign off with.
Yeah. Well, I'll spoil the party. So Christopher Mad Dog Russo did not retire from ESPN, did not retire from the MLB Network, and his Sirius XM show, his co-host or producer did like the first 8 minutes, and then he came in, and so
okay.
and not only did he not retire, he was at what's it called now? Chase Field in Arizona, covering the World Series for MLB Network.
He needs to next year. He needs to do it again, but he needs to say something like he'll suck a dick or he'll take 2 in the ass or whatever.
Well, the funny thing that Howard Stern said is that he should have to give a hand job to Mike Francesa, but he quickly backed away from it. And again, consistent with Howard Stern in 2023, that he would suggest that he give a hand job to Mike Francesa. Anyway, let's cleanse our palate from all this Mad Dog talk. And I want to share our final clip here for Who Are These Sportscasters? Shannon Sharp, they brought that show that they do. I guess it's the same show, First Take. They were doing it from his alma mater, Savannah University. And if you like to watch a very large grown man jump up and down like a little girl, you're going to enjoy this very extended entrance that he had at Savannah University. Well, this right here wouldn't have been the worst. Okay, you can be excited. There's a big house.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby.
So there's another minute and 12 seconds of this.
I don't recall him being such a dork when he played in the NFL. That was horrible.
Yeah, but you know, he's it's like when Jay Leno used to come out at the beginning of the Tonight Show and have to high five everybody in the front row.
Yeah,
you know, but never touching whoever that guy was who was his announcer at the time.
Yeah, 100%. And none of these people even know who this guy is.
Yeah,
they're
like
yeah,
this is the
whatever.
guy who says this is his house, and so they're like, they took wait, this guy lives here?
Yeah. Vince writes again for another $5. It means $14 for this guy. Can barely stay awake watching my good friend from law school from Grand Rapids, Zane. How much money to come to VTL network? I didn't know that
Vince,
was a thing.
The lawyer has a network?
Wow. Your voice is golden. Why at WATP? Well, I mean, this is where I was invited. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, the VTL network didn't make a pitch for Eric Zane.
Right,
oh, wait a minute. Dang Lizard with 10 euros.
That's definitely our highest.
You know what?
Okay.
For 10 euros, I'm going to get the Cardiff Electric Bell.
Which I know is about $10.
It's like $12, isn't it?
Probably. I don't know.
Well, let's actually read it in case we get outbid.
Yes. It says, did you ever consider getting to this point in your career where you do a show for some loser in Rochester? I never thought, but yet here I am. Christian, you too.
I am honored to be a part of the Carl Network.
I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
The fact that I was even asked, I was like, I better say yes before Carl realizes he called the wrong Christian in his phone, you know, because not a lot of Shuleys in his phone from what I understand. But anyway, dang Lizard, I think we're honored. But if 10 years ago you had asked Eric and I to predict what our biggest and most lucrative, most high profile gig was, would it be tied to the great city of Rochester? No, probably not. That's probably.
I love Rochester. Yeah, I'd love to visit.
I went in June and it was beautiful. So I don't know what everybody who went for DabbleCon's talking about. I had a wonderful time. Anyway, now don't forget to stay tuned for our review girl, but we are going to get to our great moments in broadcasting history. Yes, it is our Hall of Fame segment.
Flashback.
WATB. Way back into time.
Let's find out who are these broadcast histories.
I think even the jingle had a little lag time there, but that's all right. Look, we're having fun. We're doing it. We're doing it live. Yeah.
Lag time makes me happy.
gives you a moment. So since our last episode, actually this was on November 1st, the great Coach Bobby Knight passed away. College basketball great. Most of us know him for his body of work with mostly Indiana, a little bit of time with Texas Tech. But I've got 4 clips here, and I could easily have had 40, if not 440. And I think, his success as a coach is one thing, but his presence as an interviewee, that is why our entire Hall of Fame is focused on Bobby Knight. The great Coach Knight has passed on, but he's left us with some great memories. This is the longest of our clips, but this is a fantastic one-on-one interview. This is right after he got fired from Indiana, with cause, as they say. He was being interviewed by Jeremy Schaap of ESPN. So this was a big interview. This was a big exclusive, and I'm sure Jeremy was very excited. Coach Knight might have been a little bit less excited.
And he's been dismissed from his job along with me.
But Coach,
let me finish, Jeremy.
Coach,
he's the victim in this.
Yeah, but
Pat is the victim in this
he's
now.
the victim, but if you had abided by the rules, would he have been the victim? Would he still have his job?
I don't think I had any chance to abide by the rules.
Why not?
Let's get back to Pat, okay? Now, with Pat and our situation where it was, now we have to find another place. But again, before you interrupted me, and you have a real faculty for doing that.
Thank you.
No, I don't think it's anything to really be too proud of myself. I think when I talked about Pat.
Bob, you came here to do an interview. I'm asking you questions.
When I talked, well, then let me finish the answer. Is that okay,
Go
Jeremy?
ahead.
Is that fair enough?
Please go right
Have
ahead.
I interrupted your questions yet?
Yes.
No, I haven't. You've interrupted my answers with your questions.
I love where he's just like, have I interrupted you? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like good for good for Jeremy for handling this.
He did great. I watched this live, or when they first published this years ago. I remember this.
Yeah, I remember this, and I hadn't thought about it in a little while, but when I was gathering up some clips, I wanted to revisit this, and he makes a great point here, Coach Knight does.
Questions yet?
Yes.
No, I haven't. You've interrupted my answers with your questions, and then I've tried to get back. So let me finish this.
Look at that.
You got a long way to go to be as good as your dad. You better keep that in mind.
I appreciate it.
What?
Of course, Dick Schaap, a legend in the field,
right?
And Jeremy only too aware of the fact that
I can't remember. I thought his dad had just died prior to that moment.
You might be right, actually.
Yeah, because I remember being outraged and everybody being pissed off at night. Bobby Knight, the only shadow that's cast, in my opinion, on Bobby Knight's life and success is how big of an asshole he was. This guy he was such a dick. It's unbelievable. He was the best dick ever.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I think that's more impressive than any number of championships. I think I enjoy Bobby Knight more than Coach K, who had way more success.
Yeah,
because he's one of the 3 least interesting interviews in the world of sports. Is Coach K.
Jesus.
But and the best content seems to come from the media availabilities. There's one that didn't have really good audio where Coach Knight saw the guy and he's like, I'm not going to talk if this asshole's here. And the guy has to, it's older enough technology. He has to unravel the wire for his microphone before he leaves. And so you send somebody else from that channel, but I'm not talking if he's here. It wasn't going to play well on the show, but lucky for us, he has some words about motivating his team after a very tough loss.
And it was not a very
This is Eric's favorite part of the show is just the preamble while we wait for the ramp up.
And it was not a very good half of basketball from our standpoint. Any questions? Bob, you seem to try to motivate and continue.
It's a bad question too. It's like the audio.
Motivate him continually during the second half.
Well, geez.
Oh, fuck.
That's all right. Hey, we stay with it,
And
right?
it was not a very
Oh, fuck.
It's all right. I know what to do.
a very good half of basketball from our standpoint. Any questions? Bob, you seem to try to motivate him continually during the second half.
Well, Jesus Christ, what the fuck do you expect me to do? I mean, that's what I goddamn get paid to do. Did you see us play UCLA? I mean, if you're not going to fucking try to fucking motivate somebody after that, then I'll be goddamn dick I shouldn't even get paid. Well, that's what, Jesus Christ, that's what I'm trying to do. Anybody else?
No.
That's the best part. Anybody else? Everybody's like, no, we got it, coach. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he was always a bully. No one ever really fought back. And
No.
I kind of wish that over the years, someone would not have been so to actually say something to him.
Yeah. Well, those clips wouldn't have been as fun to watch. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say Nelson TAS. I hope I'm saying that right. And Nelson's TAS and Game Archive for $2 wrote ESPN logo on his head. Looks like a yarmulke. Is he Jewish? No.
No, not Coach Knight. No, I think he's probably got some choice words, but not in any of these clips. But if you do enjoy watching the reporters not fight back, then you will love this.
If it amazes you, then you don't know anything about basketball. You're illuminating your relative lack of knowledge of the game with a statement like that.
With 51 points, you beat Northwestern here by 51 points. That doesn't amaze you.
Well, let me ask you something. Let's just start all this fucking shit again. Now, I'm not here to argue the thing with you. I'm not going to fucking debate things with you goddamn people from television. You want a fucking answer from me, you get the answer. You don't like the fucking answer, then don't use the fucking program, okay?
Look at this guy.
But I'm not here to debate this bullshit with you people. I don't think you're quite capable of debating basketball.
What did he do? I don't get what he did.
Can we try it again, Coach?
Nope. And there's this guy. This John Tesh looking motherfucker.
I don't understand what he did wrong.
Saying like he was surprised by how much they lost by. And Coach's point is like, well, if you're surprised and you don't know a fucking thing about basketball, that's basically what the gist was. I don't think that these questions are unfounded. I don't think it's crazy. This guy clearly, Coach and I probably just took one look at him and was like, I don't like this guy's face. I don't like this guy's face, and he didn't even ask me anything.
That's what people say about us, Christian. As soon as they go into Carl's channel and they see you and I are stupid pink faces on the thing.
And honestly, that's the thing that the Who Are These Podcast Network is known for. Great faces. Carl Hamburger, Vinny Paulino, Trucker Andy, Eric Zane, Christian Bladt, Blind Mike. I mean, Lucy Tightbox, and of course the lovely Jenny Jingles was on a couple times over the last week. But for the most part, right. We should all be lucky to have a face like this guy is what I'm trying to say, Eric.
Fair enough.
All right. I've got one last Coach Knight clip, and I think there's definitely some wisdom here. Words to live by for all of us.
Joe, why do you say fuck so much?
Well, I really don't think there's any word in the English language that expresses so many different things as the word fuck does. You can use surprise. Well, I'll be fucked. You can use the word fuck to indicate anger. Fuck you.
Oh,
yeah. Fuck you. Yeah, that was a compilation on YouTube. So I don't know. I love a guy like that, and he will definitely be missed. Oh my God, Dang Lizard with 10 euros and is it called a cent? I don't know anything about Europe. I haven't been in so long.
Right. It would be 10.01 euros. Right. No professional quote unquote broadcaster or otherwise would ever join this cesspool of ridiculousness. Ask Vince, the evil lawyer.
All right. So clearly, Dang Lizard, whom we appreciate for even watching, let alone giving us super chats. Clearly, he's trying to get me in trouble. I think that's where we're headed at this moment, but that's all right. And Dang Lizard, 10 euros and 1 penny, whatever it is, I'm happy to receive that. But before we give the plugs and the sign off, Eric, it's time for us to visit with our lovely review girl, Zia Anderson, who took time to read. We are getting some reviews. We're getting reviews on Apple Podcasts, even though, as Carl has pointed out, that is probably the single worst platform to listen to your audio podcasts.
Oh,
because,
okay. I didn't know that.
Episodes skip around. They get jumbled. Even if you rewind it, you find out you've missed things. I'm not quite sure what the problem is with the interface, but there have been some voicemails on WATP for that. But we get a lot of comments there. Leave comments anywhere where you watch the show, including on YouTube, really, wherever you want to leave them. But the rule is, now everybody knows that for WATP, they want you to shit all over the show in the comments, but leave a 5-star review. Our variation of that is, we definitely want a 5-star review. Please give us a 5-star review. But I'm very sensitive, and I mean very sensitive. So shit all you want over Eric Zane, but please say nice things about me.
Oh,
that's all I ask for. I don't think that's too tall of an order. Do you, Eric?
No, I don't. I mean, if they got it, get it out. Okay. Get that poison out of your body. Go ahead. I've got rhino skin. Christian is a huge pussy.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
All right. Well, let's see what Zia has uncovered for us this week.
This review is by RB20014. It's titled Carl's Not Here. It's like when Three's Company had a spinoff called The Ropers. It's not as good. I still listen.
I mean,
all right.
I guess I'm Norman Fell and you're Mrs. Roper.
I could be Mrs. Roper. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I can live with that review.
I'm perfectly fine with it. You know, the Ropers reruns are, grouped together with Three's Company reruns. So I'll take a cut. That's fine. If we're the Ropers, it's fine. Just don't tell us that we're what's happening now. When they came back 8 years later and, rerun was even fatter and half as funny. We don't want that. But
correct.
How many stars do you think that is?
5. King Kong Bundy says 5.
Good for you. How many stars do you think?
I should have let Zia ask you, but so she's going to count to 5, which she can do.
5 stars. 5 whole stars.
Thank you.
So we got 5 stars for that one.
Yep.
So people are understanding what to do. And by the way, you can find Zia on YouTube at Zialand. That's also her OnlyFans. Now, if that's something that you're interested in, I'm sure that you'll find the kind of content you're looking for. But don't worry, we've got one more review from her.
She would be so hot if she were 30 years older.
She was in her 60s?
No, yeah, I love old women. I talked about that in the chat earlier. Zia she's beautiful, but I mean, she needs to be about 60 for me to be attracted to her.
Wow. I don't even know how to process that, Eric. I thought, because I've known her for a long time.
Well, she's lovely, but just not my type,
No, yeah. I mean, that's a problem. It's like, that's great that she got new boobs and all that, but she's still got that face. So just for me, I can't be bothered, but I do appreciate her recording these.
Plus, that's the best part is that she's actually a talent and can do this. But if I were to ogle a woman who's as old as my daughter, I mean, it would be horrible. It's disgusting.
Well, I think we established your daughters are not as old as her because she's older than she looks, but a gentleman will never tell. But
Right.
She does have one more review for us.
Okay, good.
The next one is by Chad's Missing Upper Lip. Wait a second. I know that name. The title is Who Are These Guys? Christian sounds like a nasally know-it-all 10-year-old who's not only more racist than Carl Hamburger, but also a bigger incel than producer Chris. In the world of hot takes, Christian thinks he has the hottest of takes when he's really as frigid, I believe, as one of the revolving door of 6 out of 10 review girls. Hey, that's me. And he reads super chats just as well as Blind Mike. It's nice to see Carl has gone the Ray Kroc route of franchising out his stolen Jocktober format. Oh, and Eric Zane mumbles sometimes too. That was so sweet.
I think.
Guess how many stars that is?
Oh, that's 5. That's 5.
I can't vote because I know the answer because I prepared the clips. But I think that the message isn't getting across because I don't want to be made fun of. I don't think people are understanding, Eric. I think that they're missing the point. That
I think
want
they
to
got
be
us
praised.
mixed up. I think they mixed it up. I think they think that I'm you and you're me. Because of all the things I've been accused of, I've never been accused of mumbling. And
that's true.
And you mumble all the fucking time. So clearly
100%. Yeah. So you know what? I think that they intended to follow the rules,
Right.
but they just got confused. Well, let's get the big reveal from Zia.
Also 5 stars.
Yes.
Does it really matter what the review says if it's 5 stars? I don't think so.
See, you're figuring it out.
Thank you, Zia.
Anyway,
Very
thank
kind.
you so much, Zia. At Zia Land on your social media, at Zia Land on YouTube, and at Zia Land on OnlyFans. Now, I think we're all caught up on super chats. I just want you to make sure, because I don't want to have to apologize like I did last week because you forgot how to read, Eric.
I don't think I did. I think did I really fuck that up?
Well, there was that. No, because you saved it for me because it was clear that was gonna be our big dollar one. But then he didn't watch to the end of the show, so I told him, I'm like, well, I did read it, but I'll tell you what, I'll read it again.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's not my fault. That Jesus Christ, I didn't do it.
It's just so much easier to blame you. You know.
Fair enough.
So this is our big sign off, but. We appreciate everybody staying with us through all of our clips here on Who Are These Broadcasters? And it does look like Dang Lizard has a smaller dollar amount, so this won't be our my sign off. But go ahead, it's got you in the name.
Dang Lizard actually had a late one for $5 and wrote, Eric Zane, why does such a great personality do a show with a loser like Christian Blattercast? Did I understand the theme of these comments correctly?
Well, Dang Lizard, if you put money to it, you can say whatever you want.
Yes, you can do whatever you want. And that right there, this is the highest. You spent a lot of money. That is incredible. Jesus.
Yeah. And Vince the lawyer thought he spent a lot of money, but then Dang Lizard busted out his billfold filled with euros, and he decided to share them with us. In any case, we appreciate everybody who watches the show. Please continue to leave the comments so that we can have Zia back on. And we did explain the rules. 5 stars. Shit on Eric in the comments, but say how much you love me. You know what? I will also settle for just don't mention me. I just don't want to be made fun of. So you can shit on Eric.
Yes.
5 stars. Either don't mention me or talk about how great I am. You don't have to mean it.
Yes.
I live in a house full of people who pretend that they love me. Believe
when
me.
you're the best, like I am, people want to bring you down. Okay. I'm the best heel that's ever existed. So there you go.
And a reminder that you can leave us a voicemail. Go to whoarethese.com to find the phone number and mention that it's for WATB, and we can play those here. And of course, patreon.com/Who Are These Podcasts. That's where you can find all of that. And the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel, all that stuff where you can find all the shows. But Eric Zane, where can people find you?
Thank you very much, Christian. I have a daily show, which you can download on any audio platform. Just search Eric Zane Show Podcast, and off you go. I'm also on Twitch. Download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live, because the show that becomes the audio podcast is actually done every single day, Monday through Friday, live, starting at 8 Eastern time, wrapping up at 10. And it's amazing, Christian.
Whenever I've heard it, it's also been amazing. And, you were explaining this when you and Carl were sitting in for Anthony Cumia. Something about how it starts on YouTube and then the people have to follow it somewhere else. Why don't you just leave it everywhere so people can keep watching wherever it is?
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
I'm just trying to help the business model. I
appreciate that.
Carl, I think, asked you the same question, and I'm just going to hammer it home. To make sure. But
he just didn't have the nerve to tell me that I'm doing it wrong. You did. Thank you.
I don't know. I saw Carl on Ray DeVito's show. Carl will always tell someone when they're doing it wrong. But we're doing it. We're having fun. Check out my personal podcast, The Blattcast, BLADTCAST, the latest episode of which, episode 567, features one of the biggest names in the Dabbleverse over the past week. Vinny Paulino made his debut appearance on The Blattcast. We're joined by friend of WATP, Liam McEnany, my buddy Bill Narducci, and we talked about the new Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. That movie has a runtime of 3 hours and 26 minutes. Do you think it'll find its way into your afternoon schedule, Eric Zane?
As I love Scorsese, it's going to have to,
Okay.
because he's like, if he makes a movie, I want to see it.
If you love Scorsese, I think you'll be happy. If you're kind of on the fence, I don't know, go see Ms. Marvel or something. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not for everybody, but we all enjoyed it. In any case, I think that's all the time we have for now. Make sure that you find us next week. Same time, same YouTube channel. We'll be here at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. And I meant to mention you can find me on social media at Christian DMZ, but I don't even have anybody. Does anybody even use any of that stuff anymore? But in any case, it is closing time. It's time for me to put my glasses on so that I make sure that I get it right. It's time for my sign off. So remember, every mic is a hot mic, but no professional broadcaster or otherwise would ever join this cesspool of ridiculousness. Ask Vince, the evil lawyer.